Okay, this is the wheel and axle, which I sometimes call the wishing well. And what you have to do here is you want to set up your little well on 2 books to give you enough kind of distance for the basket to drop. If you look in your kit, you see that there's all sorts of wheels and axles here. Now, no matter which one you choose, the wheel is the part that turns and the axle is the part where the string winds. So wheel, axle. Wheel, axle. Wheel, turn, axle, string. Now you're going to choose wheel and axle number 1 to start with, and you have this handy dandy reference book which is going to show you which one wheel and axle number 1 is, and it says it's the one right here that looks like this. So wheel and axle number 1 is going to snap right in the top of the well, and there you go, just like that. So see how I'm set up? So now I turn the wheel and the little axle spins. The basket is what you're going to lift, since the well is going to lift it up and down. And you're going to put the block inside here to give it some weight. Now whoever's going to be operating your wheel is going to kind of just hold the basket a little bit to see how heavy it is, so you kind of feel it. Drop the basket into the well, like this. And then whatever axle you're using, you're going to tie the string to the end of the axle. It really doesn't matter where, loosely, because you're going to have to untie it. As long as you can wind that axle around. Oops, I don't have it. There we go. So now I'm just going to wind and tighten up the string. It takes a while on this one. Go. Alright, so now you notice that my string is nice and tight. Some measurements. First thing you're going to do is figure out what's bigger, the wheel or the axle. And bigger I mean by circumference. Wheel, axle. Which circumference is bigger? You're going to write that down on your data table. Then you're going to spin the wheel, and you're going to count how many turns of the wheel it takes to lift the basket 10 centimeters. So if somebody's going to be on the ruler, turn the wheel, 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, 4 turns, until you get to 10. Whatever number you get, you write that down under number of turns. Now the last one says heavier or lighter. And last year we tried to make some numbers fit here, but we couldn't figure out how to measure it. So what I want you to do is just to turn the wheel. Does the basket feel lighter or heavier? Meaning, feel the force you put on this wheel. Is it the same amount of force I would use if I was just lifting the basket like this? So does this feel heavier or lighter than turning the wheel? Okay, and wheel and axle number 1, the difference is quite obvious. So is the basket feeling lighter like this or heavier than it would if you were just going like this? All right, wheel and axle number 1 is done. So you unspool it, untie the tie, go back to your reference manual, your handy reference manual. Which one's wheel and axle number 2? Okay, say it's this one. Tie the string here, wind it up, take the same measurements, etc., until you get to all wheel and axles. You do not have to do mechanical advantage. We're going to do that together. And you do not have to answer questions 2 and 4. Those are talking about mechanical advantage, and you can't answer those until we discuss the mechanical advantage. Okay, done.
That's because it just said auto power off.